But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Und damit herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Video. Ja, ich dachte mir heute mal, spiele ich das Spiel des Stanley Parable. Ich hab's im Epic Games Shop gefunden. Ist, glaube ich, jetzt gerade noch
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich weiß nicht, es hat sich einfach mal interessant angehört, deswegen spiele ich das jetzt einfach mal ein bisschen.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Kann ich nicht öffnen? Nein.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay. Was habe ich jetzt gemacht? Hallo? Wo sind die alle hin? Der Witz ist, ich habe mich jetzt schon wieder verlaufen. Ha! Geil. Warte mal, kommen wir nicht von hierher? Hier sieht alles gleich aus. Naja, gehe ich mal hier entlang. Dukti-dukti-di. Dukti-dukti-da. Was geht da ab? Hallo? Ist hier jemand? Was sehen wir eigentlich? Also, klar, wir sind ein Mensch, aber ich meine, welchen Beruf üben wir aus? Bürokaufmann? Irgendein Berater oder was?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Na gut. Hör ich mal einfach auf die Stimme aus dem Nirgendwo.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Mhm. Yes. Ah, da oben.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, jetzt wird's nobler. Executive Bathroom. Nein, wir kommen leider nicht rein. Schade. Aha, Sekretärin, was ist da? Keiner weiß es. Hallo, Chefe.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Two, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Hä? Ah! Wow, okay. Deswegen die hohe Wand also. Ui. Jetzt ist doch was runtergefahren. Okay. Naja. Dupdi da. Hallo. Hier geht's nicht weiter, schade. Okay. Mal schauen, was passiert.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Hallo?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Nee, ich soll da lang. Hallo? Ist hier jemand? Ich will raus. Darf nicht. Na gut. War noch nie eine gute Entscheidung, aber in Ordnung.
The lights rose on
Ui.
an enormous room packed with television screens.
Heilige.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ah. Wir dürfen weiter. Ist ja jemand hier dahin? Hier ist keiner mehr. Na gut.
Now the
Kamera
monitors
war-
jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ja gut, kommen wir überhaupt hier raus? Nein, wir kommen nicht hier raus. Wir dürfen nur weitergehen. Das ist krass. Ah, da sind ein paar gefeuert. Aber keiner ist hier.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Okay, Gedankenkontrolle. Läuft.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ah, da geht's lang.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Mind Control ist Status offline. Okay. Ja, schauen wir uns hier noch ein bisschen um. Kugus, irgendwelche Knöpfe drücken. Alles offline. Alle weg. Niemand da. Schade aber auch. Ui, ne, ein großer Knopf. Drücken. Hallo. Da passiert ja gar nichts. Was soll das denn? Na gut. Doch, da steht was. Warte mal. Du standest vorher noch nicht da, wa? Control Disclaims. Ne, Console. Ups. Console. Upsi. Aha. Mind controls idle awaiting input. Okay.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Naja gut, entweder kann ich an- oder ausmachen.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Das ist aber eine große Tür. Eine ganz schön große Tür.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, wir sind hier jetzt wieder zurück, weil, ernsthaft? Das war's? Naja, komm.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Das war mir jetzt zu einfach. Was?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Scheiß, jetzt gehe ich rechts
This was
entlang.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Hui,
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Ich will einen
Stanley
Kaffee.
simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Dann will ich ein anderes Getränk. Krieg ich hier nichts, dann gehe ich wieder.
Yeah. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
The first open door on his left. Einen Scheiß mache ich. Hallo?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ja, ich will jetzt einfach mal das machen, was, ja. Ne? Was du, Typ, sagst. Will ich nicht machen, sondern das Gegenteil. Ui. Das kostet ja.
Look,
Aufwärts.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Der Typ wird gruselig, aber irgendwie anscheinend machen wir irgendwie sowas wie Amazon, also irgendwie lagermäßig was verteilen. Oder als Bürotyp.
This is
Das
it,
kannst du
Stanley.
organisieren.
Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside.
Hi.
To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Da ich weiß dunkel. Rein geht's. Das war eine Scheißidee. Hallo?
That's
Ui.
her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Ah. Meine Tastatur reagiert hier ein bisschen zu sensibel. Ich zieh den Stecker.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Ja.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back.
Huh?
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Telefon. Huch, da war ja nie eine Steckdose. Hä, wie konnten die das schnell nehmen? Ja. Wie konnten die das so schnell alles reinmachen? Naja. Geht's noch einen anderen Weg? Es macht Spaß, den Typ. Warte mal, hier sieht echt alles anders da aus. Aber es ist cool, man hat verschiedene Wege und man kann alles mögliche machen, was man will. Na, kann ich hier rein? Nee. Gut.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Okay. Wenn ihr mich halt kontrollieren wollt. Hey Leute, ich kann auch selber Sachen aufmachen. Kuckuck. Achso, jetzt ist wieder alles auf. Cool. Dupdi-dupdi-da. Krieg ich
Almost
jetzt einen
there.
Kaffee?
You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Na gut. Ich hätte es eigentlich nochmal machen müssen, so jetzt rechts entlang. Ich glaube, ich mache nochmal ein anderes Video, wo ich ihn ein bisschen mehr
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Aber ich finde es lustig, wie ich den etwas, ja, sagen wir mal so.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ich kann gar nicht runtergehen. Also haben tatsächlich alle Entscheidungen irgendwelche Folgen. Geil. Also, das Spiel ist einfach nur so ein Fun-Spiel. Das macht schon. Was? Wait, what?
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up. But now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Muss ich das jetzt sagen?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. Das bringt nix.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Muss ich irgendwas drücken, dass ich das...
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Hä? Aber das Spiel checkt ja nicht, dass ich spreche. Also, was?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would.
God.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting
Hey,
the
das ist
story
cool.
first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Also ich finde es gerade echt witzig. Also ich finde es gerade echt ein bisschen witzig, weil... Hey. Man hat am Anfang komplett die Entscheidungsfreiheit und jetzt... Ja.
Behave exactly as Stanley would.
Hä?
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Ich gehe jetzt einfach nur dahin und bleib stehen, bis er fertig geredet hat.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Na gut. Hä? Hä?
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Hallo. Hä?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Hallo?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
Geil! Alter! Das ist geil.
Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
Also, wir haben 2 Enden, wir haben den Typen zerstört. Und das meint er anscheinend, weil in der Spielbeschreibung stand, einmal man spielt Stanley und einmal man spielt ihn allerdings auch nicht, ja. Man hat Entscheidungen, man hat sie auch nicht, das meinen sie also. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, lasst ein Like da. Schreibt in die Kommentare, ob ihr noch ein zweites Video sehen wollt. Es ist echt lustig, wie man das Spiel auf verschiedene Arten und Weisen tatsächlich fertig spielen kann. Ja. Ja, also wie schon gesagt, wenn ihr noch ein weiteres Video wollt, schreibt es in die Kommentare. Ich werde da wahrscheinlich dann das mit dem Telefon einmal nehmen und einmal die Maschine anmachen oder vielleicht mal schauen, was ich sonst noch so alles machen kann. Ja, ich hoffe, euch hat das Video gefallen. Wenn ja, lasst ein Like da. Und dann sieht man sich beim nächsten Mal wieder. Bis dann. Ciao, ciao.